So today we are recording with Melanie. We are going to talk about her visit. She's now in, I believe, in Machu Picchu or in Cusco. We are going to find that out later. And she's recording with her cell phone because she couldn't charge her laptop. So let's start with that. So we don't have a place to plug the charger here in Peru, or what happened?
The plug is different.
Oh, okay.
So in Lima, I found a way to make it happen, but here it's actually different than Lima. But the main problem is actually with the Brazilian plug, because we have changed it recently. Well, not so recently, but it still have problem because it's not standard to any other countries. So when I got here, I was surprised, and I didn't find a connector that would work. So I'm doing on
You
my
were
phone.
asking, where is the inclusion in this country? Where is the inclusion that they don't have a plan for this? Okay, that sounds cool. So tell me, how did you start? Because you were in Miraflores, you were in Lima before, yesterday, I believe, right?
Yes. I arrived in Peru on Saturday. So Saturday, I got here around 10, I think 10, 11. So I did I had a reservation for a restaurant, and so we just walked around in there. I was staying in Miraflores, so I just walked. And then the next day I went to see the historical center downtown, like the government and the church.
Oh, like in the center, like Central Lima, the center of the city.
Yes.
Okay. That is kind of dangerous, that part of the city. I don't know how do you feel it, but it's kind of dangerous, that part.
Oh, well, I'm usually very careful, I'm used to be like outside, so I'm always watching out what's going on, and my husband is with me, so he was also very careful, and everything went great. A lot of the streets were closed when we got there, because I think they are rebuilding something or renovating some of the streets. So we went to the convent, like San Bento, I think.
Okay, like
San Francisco.
Oh, San Francisco, the church.
Yes.
Okay.
And we did the tour in there, and then when we left the tour, we could go in the streets where we could see the government and the main square and the Catholic church.
Okay, that sounds cool. So far, I mean, if we are talking about Lima, what is the good, the bad, and the ugly for you? What is the good to start?
Well, the first thing I will say about Lima and Peru, like right away, is that we really love the food. I've heard from everyone that we would eat very well in Peru, and we actually did. So we visited some good restaurants, and even the smaller ones in the streets, they are great. So we have been eating very well. The city is beautiful. I was impressed. And if you want a down point, I think
the bad and the ugly, to be clear.
Okay, the ugly point, I would say that we feel a little exposed because all of the time people are approaching us and trying to
like harassing
sell something, or
okay
exactly. So it's not we didn't feel dangerous, we just felt harassed, exactly the right word, all the time. And it's impressive because it's like everywhere.
Yeah, what I understand is that people, I mean, you look like tourists, I mean, you don't look like here. So when they see that, they try to just, what I understand is maybe they need money. That's my assumption. Maybe it's not true. So they need money, so that's why they rush to try to get something. But what they don't understand is that it's like going to a club, right? When you go to a club, you try to be friendly. You want to meet people. You cannot be like too strong because then you're going to scare. So, okay, that is
there is one thing that is actually funny about this, because we realized that the taxi, they will honk on the streets and they will stop near us. So we will go on a taxi in the middle of the street, And we are not actually looking for a car, we're just walking on the street. So we were really amazed. It was actually a little funny. We made some jokes about this, me and my husband, because we say here, other than the taxi, people use a lot of the honk.
Yes,
like
all the time.
All the time.
Sometimes
in Brazil, it's not so common.
Yeah, it shouldn't be, because it's supposed to be something for emergencies. But here it's like they just do it for fun, like they are pressing the honk all the time. Yeah, that's true. So talking about taxis, how do you feel the traffic? Because I understand that traffic is an issue, like not only in Peru, in all the countries, but if you compare Lima to, where do you live? What is your city?
Sao Paulo.
If you compare Lima with your city, do you feel the traffic is here more dense than your city, or is the opposite?
No, it's less dense. We had some traffic in a little bit when it's like rush hour, on Monday I went to Nazca, so when we were coming back it was like 7 p.m. It was really hard to get to the hotel, but I don't feel it's different from São Paulo. It's just people are more stressed, or maybe they are not as stressed because they honk.
Yeah, that's
so they release this,
exactly. Holy shit! We just forgot that is the strategy to release the. Okay, that sounds cool. So that was about Lima. Do you have something else related to Lima? Something that you want to include there?
Oh, I don't know. The city is beautiful. The population is great. I mean, we had this like harassment, like I told you, but but what I feel is that everyone is really nice, and they want to be. They want to please. They want to serve. They want to help, and they are really trying all the time to make your stay great. And one thing I saw is that people are really they see how important tourism is for the country, which is a great thing. I don't see this in Brazil. I think we are not as great with tourism. I think we don't take it so seriously as you do here. And from what I saw is because it's mainly one of the main economic
like sources of income
sectors.
Maybe, well, I'm sure it's something like that, but also I believe that in Brazil you have more variety of skins and colors, so it's harder to tell when you have a tourist.
Okay,
or not.
Yeah,
maybe that could be the first thing. And the other maybe is that since you have there people from many nationalities, I assume that their relatives sometimes come from other countries, so they are used to see tourists more often than here.
Okay, we can put it like this. Yes, we are different, so it's easy to say we're tourists. But there is one thing that is impressive that I realized since I got here, that you have a lot of tourists here. I mean, from the places I went around, it's really common. And I was impressed with how many people speak English. Although this is a Spanish-speaking country, and I would just say, I'm sorry, I'm not speaking Spanish, because although I can understand a little, I'm not great talking, so I prefer English. But I am impressed, like everyone at least tries, to speak English. A lot of people actually do, which is impressive, and it's way more than we see in Brazil.
Yeah, I try to encourage people to practice their English, because here in Peru, most of the tourists, they go to the same places. They go to first Miraflores, the Miraflores, then they go to the center. So then after that, they go to Machu Picchu, to Cusco. But what I believe is that if more people start learning English, not only here in Peru, also in your country, we will have more tourists, because that is the main issue. Like sometimes people want to go, but you don't feel secure that maybe you're going to get lost.
Yeah, people feel insecure. Exactly, that's the word. Because if they don't know how to communicate, how will they do? In my family, I've seen people travel without English, and it's usually a joke because they can't do a lot of things, or they don't find a way to get to the places they want to go. But it ends up being fun anyways, and they have fun, but it's harder, and I know that. So yes, English is a way that you can communicate to the world. I would say that, because that's the main way to know other countries, other people, understand how they live, what's their life like. And if you don't speak, it's really hard. There is always another way, but it's the harder way.
Also for content, if you want to consume movies, you want to watch series, you don't want to watch the translation, you want to listen the original voices. But I'm sure it's going to be a trend. I'm sure like little by little people will pay more attention to that. So let's hope the best. By the way, do you know someone here in Peru? I mean, before you came here, did you have like a contact here in Peru, or you just decide to visit Peru for tourism or for, I don't know, any reason?
No, I don't have a contact here. We decided for Peru because, you know, I really love to travel. I have always loved it. And since we had the pandemic, I couldn't. So my last international trip was in 2019. And for 2020, I had plans to go to Italy, and obviously it wasn't possible. So when we had a difficult economic time and a lot dollar becoming stronger over Brazilian money, we decided that maybe it was time to do something different. And Peru was already on the list, but probably wouldn't be right now. It would probably be in the future. So we're just like, well, maybe that is the right time. And my husband really, really loved this to be the option for this year. So we said, well, let's go. That's the time. So we came here. That's how we decided.
So thanks to the COVID, thanks to the quarantine, you squeezed the time and you came earlier. That's cool. Yes. So now let's go to Cusco. You know, I'm Peruvian. I have never visited Machu Picchu, and that is kind of a shame because everybody's you don't know much. Yeah, when I was in US, people asked me, "Do you know Machu Picchu?" Well, like, I know it's a cool place to visit, but I don't know the place actually in person. You know, but I would like to understand also the same, the good, the bad, and the ugly of Machu Picchu. And I would like to know if you met some llamas or some vicuñas there.
Oh, I haven't yet, because I got to Cusco yesterday afternoon, and then this morning we took a train to Aguascalientes, and we got here at noon, and we haven't gone to Machu Picchu yet, so I can't tell you my insights about it, but I'm sure you should come. You know, before I live in São Paulo, I used to live in Foz do Iguaçu when we have the Iguaçu Falls.
So difficult to pronounce. So difficult to pronounce that.
Yeah, Iguaçu Falls.
Okay.
So a lot of people who live in Brazil have never been there, and it's one of the new wonders of the world. And it's such an awesome place. It's the biggest waterfall. It's beside the border of Argentina, so it's shared with both countries. And people didn't go, and I wouldn't understand that because it's easy, it's cheap, and well, I understand why you didn't come to Machu Picchu, but I will do as I did with them when I said, I can't believe you didn't go to Foz yet.
Sometimes, I don't know, maybe since we have something, you assume, oh, always it's going to be there. So when it's close, it's like you don't pay that much because it's going to be close all the time.
I understand that. I can understand that.
So, okay, if we have to summarize so far your visit here in Peru, are you enjoying your trip? If you have to rank it between 1 and 10, 10 being the best and 1 being the worst, what number would you give?
Oh, so far I have no complaints. I would give a 10. It's actually way better than I thought it would be. All the way. I mean, we did some amazing things. I think we explored the both sides. You know, the good restaurants. You have a lot of premium restaurants. We went to a street in Gaston, which would be like on the top of the luxury trip, I would say. But we also went to the historic town, and it's like a contrast. It's beautiful, and we see that it's not a rich country, but people here are really proud of the country, which is nice to see.
They should be proud. They should be proud because we had the Incas here before, so we have a culture.
Exactly.
And we have minerals, we have mine, we have gold, silver, we have a lot of things. I believe that we should all be proud of our country. You know, like you from Brazil, we from here from Peru. That's why for me sometimes it's strange when I feel people pretending to be Europeans when they are Latinos, when they are South Americans. Like, hey, know your history, know your history first. So, that was cool. Sorry.
I have a fun point about this because, I'm from Brazil, and although in Brazil we have a lot of ethnics, I have traveled a lot, and no one would say I'm from Brazil. So that's something I always make sure people know. So one time I was in New Zealand, and I met some people in a bar, and they were like talking to me in English, and so after like 30-40 minutes they thought I was from Switzerland. I was like, no. And the guy who was talking to me, he was also Brazilian. So we were talking in English. We both didn't know we were Brazilian, because like no one will assume I'm from Brazil right away. And I always try to make sure I am, people know, because I am proud of my nationality. And I think people from Peru should too, because it's such a beautiful country. It's such a wonderful population. People really enjoy living here, and it's great to see. And it's a country of contrast. You see a lot of luxury and you see a lot of poverty, but you see happy people in all of
exactly
this,
that's the thing. I believe that you are proving there that it's not about money. It's not all about money. It's how do you perceive life, how do you take life, and how you mold to your lifestyle. So if I don't have a lot of money, I can, even for tourists, if a tourist come and he doesn't have a lot of money, you can experience a good visit without spending that much. But in your case, you try both, a little bit of Gaston Acurio and a little bit of the law. By the way, what do you do for a living? That's my question.
I am a financial advisor. I advise people on investments.
That's a cool topic. But what kind of investing? Because now we have the cryptocurrency, we have crazy things. So your approach is more conservative, more like stocks, those kind of advice?
Yes, bonds, stocks, yes.
Cool. By the way, what is your forecast for the economy in the future? How do you see the future of
Hard to say.
Hard to say, right?
Well, mainly in my profession, what we say is we need to be prepared for everything. We can never say this is what is going to happen, because no one can predict. And that's the most important thing about my job, because I have to make people understand that I don't know what's going to happen, but I can guide them through a rough path.
That's a good phrase to sell that's a good phrase to sell the service. A lot of people, they take decisions based in the previous data, but instead of following the trends. I believe that trends are more important than the previous data. I really enjoyed this interview. I want to thank you for your time. And do you want to share? I can share your information in the description box below, but if you want to say it in voice, so the people that are following this in audio can follow you or whatever.
Okay, I have a travel Instagram, which is what I most use for this kind of how do you say
blogs?
Your blog kind of yeah. For trip pictures and a lot of things. It's Projeto 50. It's
don't worry, let's do something. We can put it in reading. We can put it in the description box.
It's in translation, it's Project 50/50, but it's written in Portuguese.
Okay.
And it means usually that I want to visit 50 countries and before I'm 50 years old.
That's a lot. How many do you have on your list?
16.
Well, okay. Well,
Yes.
you're still young, so you have a lot of time to. Yeah, I think you are in the good
Before
path.
the pandemic, I had to count 2 for years, so now I'm a little behind.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's still doable.
I like that positive attitude. You know, that positive attitude is cool to have. So I hope you enjoyed this interview. If you want to follow her, I'm going to put her information in the description below.